Ayo, peace. I come in the righteous name of Emir X. And, you know, I want to say peace. That's the absence of confusion. But also, hopefully that y'all been staying as good as y'all can and that y'all been building positive and trying to take away from the negative institutions within y'all life. And, but yeah, I just want to say, hopefully y'all been keeping your vibrations up, your frequencies, your positive energy, and also been eating your spiritual food before your physical food, because that's a very important thing to do. And that's also why we eat 1 meal a day, is so that your mind is gonna be boosted. It's not gonna be having any power subtracted from it by digesting whatever food you have in it. You ain't got no poison in your body, right? That's why you eat 1 meal a day, and at the end of every month, do a 2 or 3 day fast, right? It's prefer you do a 3 day fast where you do not eat for 2 days and you break your fast on the third day. But a 2 day fast is also good, you know. But hopefully y'all been drinking your plenty of water, drinking your ginger tea. I don't have a ginger tea because I already drunk mine, right? But hopefully I've been doing very good, and y'all been staying away from the swine, staying away from anything that's gonna harm you, and you know, drinking good things to drink, and not drinking no hard liquors or no nothing like that. But anyways, I just want to build on on some degrees within 120. Some degrees in 120, and also share my understanding. But but yeah. So first, I want to build on actually, let me back. Today's today's mathematics, or today's degree is knowledge build, right? And the knowledge build also means 1 and 8. Knowledge being number 1 and 8 being build, or build or destroy, right? You know, number 1, knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. Knowledge is gnosis. The sun is a foundation of the solar system. That the Asiatic black man is a foundation of his family. Knowledge is look, listen, observe. Knowledge is the first step towards righteousness. Number 8, build or destroy. Build is the add-on to create a positive elevation within the mind. Destroys the ruin, deter power from within, right? But now when we look at when we look at 120, some degrees in 120, right? What's usually is the first lesson that people learn in 120? That's the student enrollment, right? It's not, some people have different lessons which they start with first, but that's the first degree in 120, or first lesson in 120, which I started with, right? Now, the knowledge build degrees in that, the knowledge build degrees. How do I see the knowledge build degrees of the uh, of the student enrollment, right? Or also known as the 1 through 10s, right? With a knowledge degree in the student enrollment is number 1, who is the original main. The original main is the Asiatic black man that make it the owner, the cream of the earth, cream of the planet Earth, father civilization, and God of the universe, right? I say it again. Number 1, who is the original main? The original main is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father civilization, and God of the universe, right? Now, the build degree, which means number 8, but the build degree is number 8. How much of the original lane is used by the color main, right? Let's start off with these 2 degrees, right? What does it show to you, right? Well, if you go to that build degree and if you go to the build degree and you look, you know, it says how much of the original lane is used by color main. Because if you go to the God degree, which is the degree before that, meaning number 7, right? That's how much of the useful lane is used by the original main, right? But this is how much of the original lane, meaning that's not his. He's the colored main, right? But this degree shows to you, who's the original main and how much of the original lane is used by the colored main, right? So what does he produce? What he produces on that, what does he produce on that 6 million square miles of original lane, and how does that affect the original main? How does it affect the Asiatic black nation, right? So when you look at that, well, what goes on amongst them 6 million square miles? That's he deceives, misleads, and ultimately tries to destroy the black man, right? And that's how he operates on them 6 million square miles. Now, if we go into the number in the science of six, right? What's the science of six? 'Cause that's 6 million square miles, and we know through studying our lessons that everything falls in accordance with each other. Everything has meaning. Allah does not say one word that does not have meaning in it. So we have to study these things with sincerity and study them very deeply in order to gain an understanding, right? Because you have an understanding of what these things mean, it becomes very useful, and it becomes very useful to the development of your consciousness, right? But what's the science of six, right? Both of all right, in its relation to the black to the original main, its relation to the original main, and also that what he does on that 6 million square miles and how it affects the original main. So let's get into this. Now the science of six, right? Both our numbers are six. His is 6,000. Ours is 66 trillion, right? Because our birth record, right? Our birth record goes into 66 trillion, 76 trillion. We so old that we have no birth record, right? But that's our number, which is six. It represents 66 trillion years. His number is only six, which represents the 6,000 years which he's been around. But let's go into the science of six, right? Or let's go into the meaning of 666, right? The meaning of 666, right? First, that's 6 years old. Wait, the father of the devil, or the father of the white race, that's Yaqub, right? That's Yaqub. Yaqub's the father of the devil. Now, when you, at the age of 6 is when he got the idea to make devil, right? He discovered unlike attract, like repel, which means kill the black and save the brown, right? Save the unlike and kill the save the black and kill the brown, right? And that's how the devil was made. That's the process of how devil was made, right? How you make devil. Now, when you look at that, he discovered that at the age of 6, and that's when he got the idea to make devil, right? Now, the second 6, that's the 600 years which took him to make the devil. Now, the last 6 represents 6,000 years which will be given the rule, right? Now, when you look at the science of 6, and when you look at the colored man, what he does amongst the 6 million square miles, right? What does he do within the 6,000 years? He deceives, misleads, and ultimately tries to destroy the black man. Now, when we look at that and we compare, because we're seeing what happens on them 6,000 square miles and how does it affect, and what does it have to do with the original main, right? So if we look at them two numbers of 6, that's 66 trillion, and that 6,000, what does that mean, right? How do they compare up against one another, right? Well, now, that's 66 trillion. We've been around for 66 trillion. We've been around for 76 trillion years. The black man's birth record goes so far back, you can't find an exact date of birth for the black man. That's how far it goes back, right? He's been here them 66 trillion years, 76 trillion years, but it doesn't just, right? It doesn't just say that we'll be limited to that 66 trillion years, right? We'll always be around. And when you look at the colored man, that's 6,000 years. It don't mean that that's all that he was here for. And after that 6,000 years, he won't be allowed to live, right? He won't be allowed to live past some 6,000 years. After 6,000 years is over, then he's gonna be took off the planet Earth, right? In the 7th day, or meaning the last 1,000 years. So we in that last 1,000 years, which the war of Armageddon will come about in that time period, in that time frame, right? So he won't go past that 6,000 years. It's not. Don't have a wrong understanding of what I'm saying. Right? It's not what I'm saying. It's what was taught to us by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, which was taught to him by. It's not what he says. It's what Allah taught him, in the person of most honorable Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever. Now, when we look at this number, don't have a wrong understanding, right? Don't think that just because he's been around for 6,000 years, he's gonna continue to be around. After that 6,000 years over, he'll be destroyed and never be allowed to rule again, right? And every mark of him will be removed, including the mentality, right? But um, but when you look at the number of the 66 trillion years, the six representing the black original main of the black nation, right? When you look at that number, don't think that's what we limited to. We limited to 66 to 76 now, right? And I won't get into what happened, right? 66 trillion years ago or 76 trillion years ago. As the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it's not necessary, right now. It ain't necessary, but also I'm not qualified to speak on it because I don't know much of what happened. That speak on it, but it's not necessary, right? I haven't. There ain't much I can speak on it because I haven't done my own research in this. So we're gonna let it alone. I'm not gonna tell you what happened back then, but also I can't tell you what happened back then, right? So I ain't been taught that knowledge yet. But don't think that we can find after that 66,000 years of black nation gonna die. No, we right. We gonna carry on live. We'll be here another 66 trillion years. We'll be here another 76 trillion years, right? So that's showing you the relation of what happens. But also, that's the relation of what goes down on them 6,000 miles in relation to the original main, right? Now, when you look at that, it also shows you everything that comes from the colored main or the white main or the Caucasian devil, right? Everything that the devil does, that these devils make, is to deceive, mislead, and ultimately try to destroy the black man. So you got to remember that, right? And also know the comparisons. Know that Islam, you have longevity in Islam, right? But if just because you're the original main doesn't mean you're gonna be allowed to keep keep being around, right? If we start following what the colored man teaches, we start following the things that's of this world, right? We won't have no longevity. And also, if we are lazy people, we don't do nothing. Then we'll die. We gotta produce something for ourselves. But I'll get into that later down the line as I get further my build. Now, when we get into this, we go to the next degrees, which is the 1 through 14s, the knowledge and build degrees. And there is number one, why isn't the devil sitting on the best part of earth? Answer, because earth belongs to the original black man, and knowing that the devil was wicked and there would not be any peace among them, he put them out in the worst part of the earth and kept the best part preserved for himself. Ever since he made it, the best part is Arabia at the city of Mecca. The colored man, the Caucasian, is the devil. Arabia is in the far east and is bordered by the Indian Ocean on the south. Number 8, why does the devil keep our people apart from his social equality? Answer, because he's not want us to know how fit he is and not as afraid. He's afraid because when we learn about him, we'll run him from among us. Socialism means advocating a society of men or groups of men for one common cause. Equality means to be equal in everything, right? How do I see these 2 degrees, right? So, when we study these degrees, and my understanding of these degrees is it showed us that well, first, what goes on in them 6 million square miles? What does he produce, right? Because that's the useful language he took, right? So what does he produce on them 6 million square miles? Also, kind of going back to that, it shows he tries to corrupt our woman, right? That's the part which he tries to take away, because a nation is only as good as its woman, right? So he tried to corrupt. He tried to create a whole bunch of things. He tried to make our woman other than her own self. He tried to corrupt her, disgrace her, right? Do all these different things with her, right? Because that's the relation, that's 6 million square miles to the original man, who was the original man, right? Because the nation is only good as his woman. So if we corrupt and make our woman bad, then our nation ain't gonna be no good, right? So that's one way he tries to destroy us, right? It's through the woman, through corrupting the woman, but also through making all these corrupt actions and stuff. Now going to the 1 through 14s and the knowledge degree in that shows to us that right, we can't allow the devil or any of his institutions, which means any person, place, or thing, so even the mindset of devil, right? Because going back to the science of 6, right, going back to the science of 6, right, that's during that 600 years, Yakub didn't live that 600 years. He wasn't old enough to, right? He died well before that 600 years was up. But Yakub teachings was powerful enough, was strong enough, was able to be carried out, and that alone that also made devil, right? Yakub teachings being carried out made devil, right? So the color man doesn't have to be physically there to make that, but them teachings and them mindsets. So that's why we can't let the devil also mean it. And if these slavery teachings, Jesus Christ was a white man. Oh, he died for your sins. Well, when you die, nigga, you're gonna go to heaven. You're gonna get everything. You've been mistreated, but when you die and go to heaven, get everything you wanted. We're gonna cut your legs off, cut your feet, kill your little babies, cut babies out your woman's stomach. But when you go to heaven, if you keep up your prayer, keep up your prayer to a mystery God, you're gonna get what you want. That's what he's saying, right? Oh, yeah. If you give me some money at my church, I'll go and you go and you've been mistreated, but you'll get what you want in heaven. That's the slavery teachings. So them slavery teachings, we have to take that, not don't allow the devil to be rooted within the best part of you, the root of your civilization, which is the mind. That's the foundation, but also the black man is the foundation, right? So if we study that them lessons, or this lesson, right? That's what it show us. Don't allow the devil to be rooted within the best part. So also take away his teachings, these slavery teachings, and this that slavery mentalities that we've been given. Right? Take them away out of your head. Throw that shit in the damn trash can. But when we look at the build degree, this is the main purpose of what I want to talk about in the video, right? Right, the science of social equality, the science of social justice, all of that sort of shit. Now when we go to the knowledge build, or we go to the build degree, and the 1 through 14s, that's number 8. Why does the devil keep our people apart from the social equality? That's because he does not want to know how filthy he is, and as a Pharisee is afraid, because when we learn about him, we run him from among us. Socialism means to advocate a society of men, a groups of men for one common cause. Equality means to be equal in everything, right? Well, first, before I get into that, let's look at the beginning and the end of that degree, right? The beginning of the degree starts off reads as this: why does the devil keep our people apart from the social equality? The end of that degree, and it ends as this: socialist means to advocate a society of men or groups of men for one common cause, right? Now, when we look at this degree, we'll look at these two parts of the degree, meaning the beginning and the end, right? Meaning the devil's institutions, or the devil himself, also his institutions and his thinkings and his mindsets, right, stops us from coming, right, stops us from being able to come together and advocate society of men, groups of men for one common cause, right? Meaning it stops from us coming together and building positive, right, pooling our own resources and going out to do for self and making a positive black nation. So if you still have these slavery teachings, and also these low vibrational teachings, these low self-esteem teachings and shit of oh, I care what he think about me, right? Now let's go back to the science of social equality, right? Let's go back to that science. Now the science of social equality I wanted to build on, and the technology of that shit, and the slave, that's just a slavery teaching, right? So one, dealing with social justice or social equality, right? Dealing with the science of social justice or social equality and all that's a new word that you hear all the damn time. It's nothing new under the sun, right? It's always been around, but it's a trendy word. Oh, I want social justice. I want social equality. Oh, that's some pussy ass bullshit, right? Now, one, the science of that is so the science of that is right. So I start off from right here. I say it like this, right? So the whole science of that social justice and social equality shit is one, we looking you looking for the wrong type of justice, and you looking for the wrong type of, wrong type of justice, right? Social justice ain't gonna get us nowhere, right? Right? If having a social justice ain't gonna get us nowhere, right? Having he's the same, no, that ain't gonna get us nowhere. This type of justice and equality we should be looking for is economic justice, right? But get this, right? To further this, we also looking to the wrong person to get that type of justice or that type of equality. When has he been known to demonstrate equality towards us, and when has he been known to give us any justice? Right? He never has. We've been here nearly 500 years, and we've been up for slavery for nearly, for a fair amount of time, right? But he has been never known to give us any type of justice or equality. So that's the wrong type of person. The same person who's deceived, mislead, and ultimately tried to store the black man, if he's done all these things to us, so why are you going to him asking for something good? He's not going to do that. But building on this stuff, that also demonstrates another slavery teaching. Who cares what he thinks about? Why you want him to be nice to you? He don't want to like you. He got that right. He don't want you to eat at his house. You don't. He got that right. He don't want to like you. He don't want you to be in his restaurant. He got that right. But also, right, that's a low vibrational thinking. That's a low self-esteem teaching. You care about what he think about you? Fuck what he think about you. Fuck that. That's a slavery teaching. I want the white man to be friends. I want the white people to look at me good and be friends with me and and be nice to me. Right? And what is he gonna do? He gonna beg, all right, nigga. I'll be nice to you. And he gonna, as soon as you turn your head, he gonna beat you over the head, crack you over the head. Like that dumb Negro. That dumb he looking at me for some justice, some equality. I'll show him some shit. Right? Yeah, as he been doing that shit. Ain't we know that. Right? So he ain't gonna give us none of that stuff, and that's the wrong type of shit to look for, right? Trying to get some social justice, social equality. What type of shit is that? Ain't worth a damn thing, right? Don't care about what them white boys think about you. What them white don't care about how anybody think about you, right? Right? They don't care about what you think about yourself, right? I'll go into this. So when I'll get into this later. But yeah, but don't care about what he's thinking about you. All this and that. That's some right. That's some low shit. Now now he tried to fool us with a false promise of social equality, right? He's not gonna give it to you, right? We try to fool us with a false promise of that. So now that's all he's trying to get for. We're trying to get something that won't get us anywhere anyways. But then also, right, he try to fool you with it. He try to fool you with a false promise of something he'll never give you, right? And something that, and even if he give it to you, you won't get anywhere with it, no way, right? But we need to what we need to do is come together and advocate society and men a gruesome men for one common cause. So we need to pull our resource. The black man needs to come together. Black people in the wilderness, and so-called Negro in the wilderness of North America needs to come together, and we need to pool our resources. We need to go out and do for self and get some of this land, right? Because what did he do? What more can he do? He let us up from slavery, right? And now he done a good job. I'll admit that he done a good job. He give you jobs. He gives jobs. You got you go get food from him. All of that stuff, right? Government assist, all of that shit, right? But why don't you get up and go and do something for your own self instead of depending on him, right? Because time gonna come soon where he can't hold us up no more, and he gonna drop us, right? Drop it like it's hot, right? He gonna drop us. He can't hold us forever, right? He can't hold us forever. So we have to go out and do something. He's saying, go, you're free, go on. And we don't want to leave. We want to stay in this house. Which make us look, which is just foolish. It don't make you look anything. You is foolish if you're doing that, right? And we are doing that. So we need to stop worrying about all that shit. And that's a false promise. And us waiting and wanting for that false promise is what keeps us from coming together, advocating the society of men, groups of men, and doing for self and doing something meaningful, right? And the reason because like I said, he ain't gonna never give you no damn social equality, no justice. Because guess what? If he did, you would find out how filthy he is, and you would run him from among us. You would find out how filthy and how disgusting and how devilish, how evil these thinkings and these slavery teachings, what they really mean, what they really are. It's just that, slavery teachings, right? But when you realize what oh, that baby was an angel baby, right? Right? Thinking, oh, heaven, all of that shit. When you realize, you see how filthy then things is, and run the thinkings away from them, run the white people. You don't want to be around the white people. You ain't gonna like no white folks after this, right? Right? You gonna run that all of that shit away from you, right? So that's why I'll never give it to you. But also, who cares? Who cares about what he think about you? It's just some bullshit, right? All right. Now that's that. Now that's the science of social justice and social, with the white man, right? Now he ain't gonna give you none of that. Now let's go to the knowledge build degree in the 1 through 40. Number 18 was the duty of a civilized person. That's to teach the uncivilized people who establish civilization and righteousness and knowledge of himself, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. Right? Everything you always look for but never know you want it. That's Islam, right? So it's showing you once you get something for yourself, we have to go out and give it to our brothers and sisters, right? That's the reason why I'm making this video, right? I'm doing the best of my ability, but also I know I have to do actual physical teaching and physical things, right? So that's why in my own time I make preparations. So it shows, and we all need to do. But this goes for me, this goes for all of us, right? But I need to make sure that we making preparations to teach. If you don't, if we not physically in front of somebody, right? Making preparations for when you are, so that you can, right? And when you've qualified yourself, you've civilized yourself, you lived out this culture, you realize you become successful, you've had these great things, all these great things, we have to do what? Pool our own resources and give it to our brothers and sisters so that they can be just as good as us. And also we can make a black nation, right? Self and own kind, right? That's the duty of a civilized person. So once you become a 5%er, right? Once you call yourself a 5%, you take that heading and that title, right? Once we learn and knowledge with some understanding, we get the best part. We have to go and use that to go out and build amongst our own people. That's your duty, right? Because now, what are we gonna do? Just sit here? We have all this time. We spent all this time learning, studying, and doing all these things. So now, what you gonna do with your new time? Not just gonna sit there, kick back, get fat, sip on some yak. Nah, fuck that shit. You have to go out. We gotta teach, right? And it goes for me as well. I'm just your brother, right? I'm nobody special. I'm just your same as you. You're not over me. I'm not over you, right? But once we get it for ourselves, we have to go out and we have to teach these things. These are the best things everyone's always searched for but never knew they wanted, right? So we have to go and pass that on and add it on. Now, before I run out of time, I only have a few more minutes left to speak before I run out of time. I want to go back to the 18th degree in the alphabet, right? Stepping out of 120 and going to the alphabet. Now, 18th degree in the alphabet is number 18. Ruler rules and standard regulation. The law set to govern a group of people in the kingdom. Ruler is the one who sets forth the law in order to govern the land in which his family exists, right? And how I see that degree, right, it has a lot of meaning to me, right? Where I see that degree is, right, it shows you, right, it's not just talk about a person who has a big castle and a kingdom, whatever. No, it's showing you that it's just like your house, right? You the ruler on your own house, right? That would govern the land. You the one who set the laws and govern the land in which your family exists, right? Everyone has to abide by you in your own household. There ain't gonna be no random person from up off the streets coming into your house, wearing their shoes inside your house, kicking their feet up on your coffee table and drinking out the milk jug. It ain't gonna happen like that. No, they gotta abide by your rules. Oh, can I keep my shoes? Oh yeah, keep your shoes off. Oh no, take your shoes off. Right, I'll get you a glass. Or sit down right at the table. Stuff like that. Right. So just as that, it's the same thing with that. You got to be the ruler on your own mind, and that land that's your mind, right? Got to be the ruler and govern your own thinkings, right? A rule type person. That's a person who is looking towards someone, looking for something, to get something, right? gotta look towards self, right? The reason I chose the name Emir because Emir means ruler. This is a very slight build on my name, but because I govern my own thinkings, right? Even the clothes I wear and shit, you can't see it because it's so black, but even the clothes I wear, I don't not wear something because oh they ain't gonna like it, or oh that's popular with them, so I'm gonna wear it, and I don't really like it, right? But even the music I listen to, it's the same thing. But you gotta be the ruler of your own mind, right? I'm about to run out of time, but you gotta be the ruler of your own mind, right? Govern your own thinkings, right? Because a lot of people base their own self-esteem and right, their own self-esteem off of what other people think, right? Which makes no sense because self-esteem is supposed to be how you feel about your own self. So we gotta make sure don't have that low self-esteem thinking, that low vibrational, that low self-confidence thinking, trying to, oh, what does he think about me? Nah, you gotta go, what does Allah think about you? That's what you got. What you think about yourself, right? That's what you have to do. And so you gotta be the ruler of your own mind, and that's what today's alphabet connects and follows into with the rest of the day's degree, just in the 120, right? But hopefully y'all can study what I've said, and this was able to provide something useful towards y'all. And I always do my best, and I'm always refining myself. So I pray, I just want to be a living example and help y'all learn, and you can help me learn also. So peace, and I'm just your brother.